What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Bismo Show. I am your host, of course, Bismo, and today we've got a special guest on, and that is Dan from Stay on Target. What's up?
What's up, Bismo? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just doing real good, actually, because now that you're here, and because of the revenge I intend to get in just a bit here.
Oh, it's getting real already, man. I'm sweating. I'm already sweating.
Oh, yeah, no, it'll be good. So, yeah, on tonight's agenda, well, first off, we've got less than a week now to Ahsoka. So next time we're live next week, I'll have seen Ahsoka. We'll all have seen Ahsoka. I'll be giving my thoughts. Yeah, so tonight's agenda, we've got a pretty big plate here with Dan. First things first, we'll be just interviewing him, get to know him a little bit better. Some maybe the behind the scenes stuff, get to know what he does with Stay on Target. And if you guys didn't know, Stay on Target is a channel of their own. They've got a live show every Wednesday at 8 Eastern. And also now it sounds like you guys got 2 shows a week.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Ahsoka Eve, we call it maybe. We used to call it Mando Eve when it was during Mando, but we're into Ahsoka, so it's going to be a fun speculation time, get our thoughts on the previous week's episode. Just get pumped about, because it drops at, depending on where you live, it drops at midnight, or, some people stay up and watch it, so it's going to be
fun. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I was like, I didn't know you guys were announcing that, so I was like just excited to hear that. Yeah, a couple other just show notes. Got to get the announcements out of the way. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like. It really helps out the channel. If you're listening in the VOD, it does as well. If you're listening on Spotify, I appreciate it. Oh, he's got the Bismo.
There we go.
We're twinning. We're twinning. Check out the merch. The Bismo store. This is the Dark Side cap. Use code Bismo10 for 10% off your order. It really helps out the channel. All proceeds get invested back into the channel. Live every Thursday. And yeah, I'll be making videos every Wednesday for Ahsoka as well. So make sure to hit that notification bell if you haven't already for videos there. Well, let's check out the chat. Let's say hi to chat first, and then we'll get into interviewing Dustin, and then after that, we'll get into the Rebels quiz. Or sorry, did I say Dustin? I'm mixing the
There's a
mixing them
reason.
up. There's
Maybe
a
they don't
reason.
know Dustin, but we are
Yeah,
brothers, right?
yeah.
So,
You're my brother, and I could.
you're my
We did
brother.
it for reference. We did a show with Dustin. That was the second ever Bismo show. So make sure to
Yeah.
check that out sometime if you haven't. But let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Maybe it's because I saw him in the chat already because Dustin is in
Oh,
here.
is he in the chat? All right.
Yeah.
What's up, Dustin?
Yeah, well, Icy was in here early. Benjamin, Bravo. What's up, Gavin? If you see, take a break, mate. A bizbro, and that's another great way to support the channel. Becoming a member, $3.99 a month. You get some behind the scenes of what I'm working on, some sneak peeks before they're releasing. What's up, the Art Wolf, Zari Moto? Stay on target. What's up? What's up, Hunter Davis? He says the Dan. Of course, Dustin. The Brickster. What's up? What's up? And Carla Hawkins. Okay. Well, we're gonna get into the interview. So yeah, we're gonna be starting right now. So first things first. I mean, it's a question I've asked the last two guests, and I'll probably ask every guest this first question. But how did you first get into Star Wars?
Man, it started way back. Yeah, I was a kid, and the VHS, man, the original VHS before the super editions that they re-released, you know, after the prequels. Or was it around then? No, this was the original VHS we watched with our parents, and similar story to my brother, but we were all there. I remember it as being like one long day or long weekend. We pretty much just, my parents and our family, we just shut down all the plans and we watched all 3 episodes on VHS in one weekend. And that was my introduction. And my mind was, you know, officially blown. I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old. And so that, but
Well,
yeah, original VHS, man. So those do exist somewhere. They're really worn out, so they may never play.
But are they like the smaller versions of like the when I think VHS, I think like the thick ones.
Yeah, no, it's the thick ones. Yeah, the thick
Oh,
VHS.
okay.
Yeah, but you know, it's before the what do they call it, with the extra explosions that George Lucas added. You know, later on, he changed. He
Ah,
started tweaking it. You know, once he came out on DVD and stuff.
okay. Okay,
And
yeah. I only know VHS and DVD, but
yeah, well,
yeah.
no, it was on a DVD format, but I mean, he released a
Okay.
different version of it, right?
Oh, I think I want to say maybe we had those, but I don't know. I could just be talking out of my butt here. But so the original trilogy though.
Yes, original trilogy was the first 3 I watched in order, 4, 5, and 6, and you know, so it was a good time. It was a great memory because we were all together as a family, and it made it really special to get to enjoy all of those at home, right? You know, with nothing else going on, we just boom went right through them. So it was
Heck
a
yeah.
cool way to do it. And I guess a secondary, I could say that. Well, no, that's it. That's how I got into Star Wars. That's the answer.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Well, follow-up question. I wonder if it's one of these 3 movies, but what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Ooh, yeah, right there. So, you know, I went back and forth. We lived in a warm climate, so I was always fascinated with Hoth and the snow environment. It just fascinated me seeing that when we watched The Empire Strikes Back and how cold space is, you know. But
Yeah.
for sure, it's Empire Strikes Back. You know, the way that
Oh,
cliffhanger ended, it was something that I hadn't experienced as a kid watching a movie. You know, most of the movies we watched ended happily ever after, or they had some kind of happy conclusion.
mhm.
So I'm thankful that I got to watch Return of the Jedi shortly thereafter, either the next day or later that day, so I didn't have to wait too long. I can't
Yeah.
imagine watching it in the theater and having to wait 3 years. You know, very
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
relatable to like Endgame and Infinity War or something, but you know,
Yeah, for sure. Those were kind of bigger weights. And
well,
that's funny you said that because Dustin was saying he always wanted to watch like the happy ending ones, and you were the you were the one that kept making him watch the Empire Strikes Back. But I don't think anyone will argue with anyone saying Empire Strikes Back is their favorite, being that I mean it's rated and acclaimed the best Star Wars movie from a review perspective.
correct.
What is your just curious? What is your favorite show? Star Wars show though?
Favorite Star Wars show? Yeah, Rebels, man. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Well, we'll be having a Rebels quiz just after this, and we'll be doing it along with the chat. So basically, how it works is I put together these 16 questions. So I'll ask them and give you both Dan and the chat the time to kind of answer back, and you'll keep track of your score. But there's a little bit of a twist to it, as far as
Is there a price to pay?
there could be a potential price to pay, but I might be just doubling down and having to pay the price again if you pass it.
If I pass it, right?
Yeah. But before we get into that, let's continue with this interview to get to know
Okay.
you a bit better and those that don't know.
Yeah.
But so, like, what is your role though on the Stay in Target channel?
Yeah. So my role is I call myself the Stay on Target pilot. It kind of grew into that, but from the beginning of the channel, the Stay on Target show that we've done for a couple of years now, it's I've always been the tech person. I was the one that Dustin kind of had a lot of ideas and has a lot of Star Wars knowledge, and I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to tech things and production and video and audio and all that good stuff. So I'd say I'm the pilot, but that's just a fancy way of saying I'm kind of the tech guy when it comes to the show, and I help facilitate the cameras and the audio and music, and I also really enjoy editing and making videos. So all the videos that go on our channel, I'd say 99.9% of them I edit and produce, and have fun doing all of that stuff. So that's kind of my role on the show. I'm the tech guy, and I don't talk as much. I try not to. I have opinions, but I just try to make sure the mics are working. I try to make sure the cameras are working and that the show is not crashing midstream, So.
For sure. So you kind of tie it all together, but that, like, a good show kind of needs that. I will say I haven't done it yet, but in some of my live streams past on the channel, the mic has been here. I'll do it right now. And then I'll be streaming for 5 minutes,
man.
and then I'll have looked at the chat, and then they'll say your mic's been muted, and I'm like, I've got to say it all over again. I'm out of here. I've definitely just closed the stream, so I've definitely just left the stream early, like after doing something like that.
I just gave all of the best points, and I said some amazing things, like, and then they're all just down the tubes because nobody heard them except your walls.
Yeah. On a similar note, we're recording with someone yesterday that ended up being over an hour long, and I was like very nervous to look to see, like, I hit the recording button, right?
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, no, I did, so there no worries there. But that was definitely a concern.
I can attest to having done all of those things, right? I mean, when we started the show, it's not always been live. The first month or two wasn't live. We pre-recorded them and edited them and released them, but it took forever because our shows were an hour or two. So it's like editing a full film, And so I would edit down and try and cut out all the dead air, and when stuff didn't work, and make it presentable. But you're cutting together an hour and a half movie every week, and it was just a lot. So we were like, we're going live with this thing, and then we'd go live, and it was a train wreck for like a long time, and nobody was on live even to tell us that it was bad, like that there was no audio coming through. So we're trying to monitor, doing the best we could. But dude, I've done it all, and so if you see a live stream that goes successfully, that it's not always how it goes, and just appreciate it, right? So that's why I appreciate being on your channel, because I don't have to think about these things right now. I just get to enjoy, just basking in
why do you think I asked to come on your guys' show so much?
Right, because I hear you, man. This is the first experience. I don't have to do much. Although I must say, Dustin and the team have been doing a good job at Studio B in my my absence some of the summer. So it's been great.
Yeah, I feel like the background's looking a little different. Next week might be in a different scene.
Yeah, it's gonna be looking a little different next week for the Ahsoka premiere, and probably it'll be done for the Ahsoka Eve show. So yeah, look forward to that.
Heck yeah. Well, it sounds like we sound good. Dustin's given the thumbs up in chat. Appreciate that.
Right.
But yeah, Dan is the man in the chair essentially for Stay on Target.
Somebody's got to pilot it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if it crashes, who do you blame? You blame the pilot.
Yeah.
So, if everything's running smoothly, you don't even think twice. But yeah, it's fun to be up here and have fun. Sometimes I sit at the table, but they're so fun back there. I just tell them to be quiet, or I'll turn this bus around and we'll go home or something. Yeah.
uh, um, okay. Moving to the next question here. What is your just favorite Star Wars character? And I've probably heard it before, but for those that want to know.
Favorite all-time Star Wars character. It does ebb and flow. It really does, because there's so much greatness that comes out. If I go back to the original trilogy, I always did like Luke Skywalker because I wanted to be a Jedi, and he's the man. And he also was an amazing pilot, and he could use the Force. So Luke is up there on the charts. I appreciated Han Solo's skill set though, and
Mhm.
and what he brought to the table. So it was always back and forth between Han Solo and Luke Skywalker.
I've
Um,
I've definitely grown to like Han more, and he might be my favorite from the original trilogy. Like,
yeah,
he's funny and he's a good pilot, and he's just kind of real.
yeah, no, he is, and but you get into the prequels. I really do like Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was never my favorite. I was enamored with Darth Maul actually. So, I'm not necessarily a dark side person, but Darth Maul was quite
Oh,
a
yeah,
fascinating character, and continues to be a fascinating character when they bring him out and he shows up places, you know maybe Rebels, so it's like,
yeah.
what, I he's quite a unique character. I know I love Mando now, I really do.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mando,
Mando's
that's what I'm
great.
saying. So it's hard to compare, but different times,
Hmm.
different characters rise to the top.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be like that, and definitely. I mean, you're gonna end up liking a lot of characters just because we like Star Wars. But
That's right.
like, I mean, Kenobi's my favorite, but like, there's so many up there. And I do like a lot of some of these more book characters. But like, I say book characters, but one of those characters that has rise from book to TV show to now live action, and Thrawn being my favorite
Yeah.
non-Force user. So that would be. I'm very excited about that. I'm a little slight nervous because the book and Rebels content is so good on him. But yeah, we'll have to get into that.
Yeah.
Speaking of just Thrawn and Ahsoka in general, I've got a Q&A going on in the chat right now. It's that blue box, just like the question is, what do you think will happen in the premiere of Ahsoka? And I was kind of thinking if you guys want to give your thoughts and predictions, and we'll read them out towards the end of the show when we get a little bit more discussion, just to hear what people think's going to happen in these first couple of episodes. That could be fun. Another thing, I've only asked once, so I know I'm supposed to ask again, but make sure to drop a like if you haven't already. It greatly helps the channel. Yeah. Takes only 2 seconds. That's all I'm saying. But
It's very easy to do. You got to do it. You got to do it.
okay, so next question though, what's your favorite show or movie outside of Star Wars?
Ooh, show or movie outside of Star Wars? Holy smokes. Oh, I didn't see this one coming. No. I do enjoy Lord of the Rings solidly. Um,
Yeah.
for as far as, a movie. Um, I was into the Marvel scene for a while there with up to Infinity War and Endgame. Um, golly, I just like auteur style, deep, emotional movies. I'm trying to think of my favorite one right now. I mean, A Quiet Place was a great movie. I like movies that are heavy and move me emotionally. Maybe they don't always end happy. Maybe they end up, kind of open ended, like maybe like The Empire Strikes Back. Maybe that started it in the beginning. So, um, other than that, I'm trying
Yeah.
to think shows. I haven't watched a lot of shows lately that weren't Star Wars. I
Yeah,
don't
I
have a
mean,
lot.
I
Yeah,
haven't. It's all been preparation now at this point,
same.
but
Yeah,
uh
yeah. If I sat down and thought, I could think something else, but yeah, no, it's mostly Star Wars content. I don't have a lot of free time, But when
yeah,
I'm
that's fair. That's fair.
free time is editing videos and creating
I mean, as far
stuff.
when I think of movie, I cannot think of it. Like, I'll go say Lord of the Rings for the same. Like, that's probably where I lean. I
Yeah.
can't even think of a movie outside of it. Like, there's movies I like, but
Yep.
it's tough show wise. Like, this one's very much adult, but the Game of Thrones slash House of the Dragon. Uh,
Sure.
I think like outside of the more graphic or whatever stuff in it, I think like the shows are done well. And speaking of that, one of the House of the Dragon directors is on one of the episodes for Ahsoka. They're directing one of
Fascinating.
them, so I'm interested to see if what that means. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing though, because House of the Dragon for me last year, just shows in general, was the show of the year, and it got like 8 different Emmys, I think. Not winning, but nominations.
Really? Okay.
So it's encouraging. It's well directed. Like they're a well directed show, so that's encouraging. They're
That
getting the
is
best of the
encouraging.
best.
Yeah, and they follow the same kind of thing with Mando, bringing in some big time, directors and such for a couple of the seasons, and that gets me more excited. I haven't heard who is directing any or all of the episodes of Ahsoka, so that's encouraging.
Yeah, yeah. I did see Dave as 2 of them that he's directing. Obviously, he's written the entire show.
Yeah.
He directs the first episode, which is a pretty long episode, which makes sense. And then I think like the 5th one.
Okay.
And then there's some familiar names in there. We can get into more of that later.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's cool, man.
last question for the interview, just to kind of round it off. Another kind of word, kind of a question, non-Star Warsy, but what's your just some hobbies you might have just outside of YouTube, outside of Star Wars?
Yeah, well, I love music and making music. I'm a musician, really, at my core. It all started, back when I was a kid. So, music is in my veins, and I got my complete control, right next to me, always within, hands reach, and it's always plugged in. So if I got an idea, I just put it down, and
That's
um,
awesome.
so I really do love producing music, creating music, uh, and really making these videos. It's all for me. It's it all. If you the common thread is the musical thing that's going in it, in and through it. So that drives my creativity. I enjoy playing video games. I really do. When I have some time, in the summer, I'm outside playing tennis of all sports. I'm a huge tennis guy.
Oh, I love tennis. I'm hoping to get back into that next year.
It's a great sport. I coach and play a lot, so I'm out there a lot of days.
Yeah,
Which
you're doing a lot. You got a lot on the
yeah, and I work, kind of a regular job. I have a business I take care of. So, and also a dad and a husband, and so I've got 2 kids, 2 boys. So those boys want to play video games, which is awesome. They want to play tennis. They want to watch Star Wars. They want to make music. So I get
Yeah,
to do all of it with my family and my
get them
wife.
on the Star Wars for sure.
Oh man, we've had some special moments watching this, Star Wars, including Rebels together. And man, it's so cool watching that by yourself and with your best friends. It's another level when you watch it with your
Yeah,
kid, and you just can't. I mean, I can't explain it because I've done it now as
yeah,
a kid with my dad and my parents. Now to be a dad and watch it, these episodes and these movies with my kids, it's like, what? This is so cool. Another generation, man. We gotta get them
yeah.
young.
I bet. I bet. Um, yeah, a lot. You truly are. I mean, beyond piloting the show, there's just so much you got going on. That impressive, most impressive, as the wise one would say.
That's right.
Well, we're gonna be moving to the Rebels quiz now. Usually we do this towards the end, but I want to get on it. That way we can kind of just get into the predictions for Ahsoka and just talk about Rebels as a whole. But here are the rules. So we've got 16 questions. I made most of them. I made all
All
of
of them.
them. I did make all of them, but they are there's not, some of them are a bit tricky, but I tried to make it passable. So Dan here needs to get a passing score. A passing score in the US is above 70%. So you need to get at least 12 out of 16. 12 out of 16. So you could get 4 wrong.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do this, man.
Yeah.
Four is my
So,
favorite number. There were 4 seasons of my favorite show. Let's see.
and also for chat, you guys can follow along. I'll be given about 20 to 30 seconds in between each question. You guys type it out in the chat, and I'll be looking at Dan to see where his eyes are going to make sure he's not looking at chat. No.
Oh yeah, I gotta minimize the chat. Remind me to do that before we get going.
Yeah. I would say we're about to start, but keep track of your own scores too, because I'm interested to see about how you guys do. If you do pass, I do think it's possible, but there are some tricky questions on here, and the stakes are if Dan does not pass, he has to say a certain Star Wars show is overrated, And if I fail, I have to say a certain Star Wars show is underrated.
Love it. Love it. Man, that show that I think you're referring to was my favorite show last year. It was my favorite show last year. You're talking about House of the Dragon, so this could be a lot riding on this. You're bringing it tonight. I gotta bring it. I gotta step up. All right, I already
the reference is though that a couple weeks ago, they had me on their show, and it was a fun show. But they put me in a 1v4 situation in a trivia, which was a lot of fun, but I unfortunately did not win, so I had to say that show was one of the best. Okay, without further ado, though,
that was a little unfair. That's okay, man.
It was fun, though. It was fun. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. So again, 16 questions. You need to get at least 12 to pass. And we'll start. It's mostly chronological, though. So we'll be starting in season 1, getting to season 4. Okay. We can kind of talk about Rebels as we go, but I kind of want to get through the quiz somewhat, and then we can maybe go back. We can still discuss, but all right. First question from season 1. What is the name of the Jedi that the Ghost Crew goes to rescue? Ends up being a trap. First Jedi Master that shows up.
I got my answer.
You got your answer? Okay. Well, we'll give chat here, because they're about 10 seconds behind. We'll give them about 10, 15 seconds.
Cool. Chat's fully minimized on my side, so.
I mean, you definitely answered quicker than they'd be able to. All right. Yeah. The answer is Luminara Unduli. You got that one?
Yeah. I put down Luminara. I didn't put the last name.
Yeah, no, that's good. You're good. That's +1. Uh-oh, no.
Okay.
All right.
We're still in season 1, man. There's a lot of episodes to go.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Question number 2, and there's a lot of people got this right in chat, so nice job, Brickster, Madeline, Ashley. Nice job to y'all.
It was heavy, that was a heavy moment, because we're like, what is going on here? But we can talk about it later. But
yeah, for sure. Oh, there's so much good to talk about Rebels, and this might end up being a later show, so just keep that in mind.
You can keep it as short or as long as you want, Bismo.
Well,
yeah.
All right. Question number 2: what does Sabine give Ezra for his birthday?
Okay, what did Sabine give Ezra for his birthday? I probably missed this one. Let's see.
That's okay. Again, my intentions was to hopefully make this quiz just hard enough for you to not be able to pass.
Good. Good. So far, you're succeeding. Okay. All right. I wrote an answer down. So.
All right. I'm starting to see some chat. There's some people have it in the chat. Some people have it almost right, but there's really one answer, and that is he got a picture of his family. A picture of his family.
Error number 1. I said like a helmet, like a painted helmet. So
that's a good guess, though. That's definitely like
I'm going off of what I knew about them, but yeah, that's good. Good question.
And fun fact, though, Ezra's birthday. Well, not necessarily fun, I guess, just a fact. Ezra's birthday is on Empire Day in Star Wars.
That's a fun fact, though. Yeah, I mean, but it's the same day as Luke and Leia, right?
Well, you got me stumped now. No.
It's possible. It's possible. I remember having this conversation, so we need Dustin.
Somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the same day as Luke and Leia, and I might be completely wrong. It's like the same day as Palpatine or something.
Hunter Davis keeps saying, Dan, you need to cheat.
You need to cheat, yeah. No, man. I run a straight ship here. We don't cheat. Comes back to bite you. I don't know, man. I already missed 1 out of 2, so far I have failed.
Wow. We've got a lot of questions left. All right. We're still in season 1 here. So this question is, Zeb loses Chopper in a sabacc match to who? He gambles him up. So Zeb plays a sabacc match, and he loses Chopper to, we'll say, Somebody.
To somebody.
Yeah, and who is that somebody?
Who is Zeb gambling with? All right, let's see. I don't know if he shows up in the first season or not. Man, you're doing good so far. These are great questions.
Appreciate it.
All right, I got an answer, but it's
All
probably
right.
wrong as well. So
I will say a lot of people got this right in the chat. I'm seeing just about everyone. Now, I don't know if it's mob mentality where one person types it and then
everybody else follows. Yeah, right.
Come on, you got to be honest here, but it is Lando Calrissian.
Oh, solid. That makes sense. But no, I didn't. I said Hondo, man.
Hey, that would be definitely like the next best guess. And I gotta say, I remember when I had the trivia, or you guys had me out for your trivia, like I watched that episode right after the trivia, and I remember it not being a question. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even know that he was there. So it was like, I'm definitely throwing that on a trivia.
That's right,
question.
Man. They dropped a lot of characters in the first 2 seasons of original trilogy. They brought them out. Yeah, that's a good, man. I forgot about that. But you said Sabak.
Yep, Sabak. Yeah.
So that was the giveaway. I should have.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say like Sabak and Smuggler, but like no, that's too much.
No, that's too easy. That's too easy. Yeah. No, I'm thinking like way harder than I have to. Like this is pretty first season here.
Yeah. Okay, last question now of the first season though. How did the Grand Inquisitor guess Kanan's former master? They're in their duel towards the end of the season. The Grand Inquisitor names Kanan's master, which is Depa Balaba.
Depa Balaba.
Yeah. But what gives it away in their fight?
What gives it away?
Yeah, what gives it away?
Ooh, that's deep. No, that's a conversation they definitely had. I remember the scene when they're fighting each other and they're going at it, right?
Yeah, and this one's like one where like there's a couple of answers I'll accept for this one. You just gotta have the general idea.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to see some answers in the chat though.
I'm not looking at the chat. There's no chat on my screen, so I'm just thinking deeply here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna write the first thing down that I think of because that's what I did before.
All right, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds.
Yep.
And 8, 7, 6, 5. Somebody gave up in the chat.
I gave up. 3, all right, 2, I got an answer. It's probably wrong, but let's go.
Okay, it is his fighting stance or lightsaber form.
Okay,
either or.
Fighting style.
Okay, okay. That works.
Okay. Yeah. Fighting style, right? Is the way
that that works. That's full credit. Yeah. I put just like fighting stance or form, fighting style, that works. And it was his fighting style is the same also as Master Kenobi's, which is Source Su, which focuses on blaster deflection and more of the defensive style. Or a fun fact. Right. Looks like Icy is also at 2 out of 16 so far. By the way, he fights with a lightsaber, says Ashley. Good one. Oh, that's great. All right, we're moving on to season 2 now.
All right.
So who does Fulcrum, who is now known as Ahsoka, send the Ghost Crew to find that has intel on potential Outer Rim systems that might work for a base or just in general, just Outer Rim system? They have some key info. Who's their contact? Ahsoka sends Ghost Crew to find.
Okay, I got my answer on this one.
All right. We'll give it about 10 seconds here. I'm already seeing some chat answers, but if you've got your answer, looks like the chat's got your answer. We're going. But yeah, it is Captain Rex. And obviously, Gregor and Wolf are in there as well. That is correct.
Rex. All right. Rex.
Now, see, my nervousness level is starting to get 2 in a row. Like,
getting momentum, man.
Yeah, get a little momentum.
These things can ebb and flow, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, we'll get moving on here to question. We're question 6, right? No, question 6. I've got it listed, right?
That's right.
So, who brings 3 much-needed cruisers for the Rebels to Lothal? there's three. They're all the similar looking ships, kind of like hammerhead cruisers. I can't say where they're from because that might be an indicator of which person specifically brought them. But that's all I can say. Who helped bring? Who we'll say smuggled in / brought in 3 light cruisers to Lothal to aid in the rebel effort over in that sector.
3 light cruisers into Lothal. One more time. Say the question one more time.
All right. I'm gonna new rule on the spot. This quiz is definitely pretty tough. Do you want a hint? Just a one.
Just say the question one more time.
Okay. Who brings 3 much needed light cruisers to Lothal for the rebel effort? And I will say how they bring it. They can't directly bring it to the rebels. They have to bring it to the Empire first for docking. And then they have to basically steal the ships again, like from the place, even though they brought them there to kind of get around security. I'm trying to describe the episode a little bit more if it might flash back, but I'll give you 20 seconds.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay. All right. You're good. I think there's been enough time on this one, but it is Princess Leia Organa.
Yep, that's right. No,
you got it?
No, I did it again. Okay. I keep saying Hondo. I don't know why I keep saying yeah, of course, it's Leia. I remember the episode now.
See, I would have said, like, if I said Alderaan,
yep, she was mad at the Imperial people because they were kind of like grilling her, and she was like, I'm just here on a peaceful, mission with my ship and my crew, and that don't they take it from her? They impound them, and
well, no, she has to like drop the kind of, but it's more so she has to give it to him because they're like, well, we keep losing every time we get these cruisers, they keep getting stolen
because she had done this method before at other places, and this is her way of getting
or other people had from Alderaan or whatever. How come every time an Alderaan ship they connect the dots?
Yeah, that's right. That was a great episode when Leia showed up. So
okay,
that's not faring well for me, but I'm enjoying this defeat so far.
I try to make it hard, but not impossible. I will say this next question is probably the hardest question yet, because, well, we'll see how lenient I'll be. But
okay, good.
This is now at the end of season 2. What is the first line that Ahsoka says to Vader once she sees Vader for the first time? When they go to when Maul's there and all those people there. I'll say Vader says this. He says, so Vader's about to take down Ezra in this moment. A few moments before, Ezra said he's not afraid, and Vader says something along the lines of, "Then you will die braver than most." And then he's about to put the striking blow on Ezra, and Ezra now looks afraid. And then Vader says, "Perhaps I was wrong." And then after he says that, Ahsoka says, "What?" The quote.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
Man, I mean, I got to watch that episode, and then I maybe would remember it as we come to the quiz. Like if I had watched that episode before walking on
this was like I hope
it's an epic line because that's the first time she talks to him, and she's starting to realize who it is.
We'll say you don't have to get it fully by the quote, but maybe try to use some context here. It's directly after so Vader says, "Perhaps I was wrong," and then right immediately after, Ahsoka said something that might play off a little bit away.
Perhaps I was wrong. She always has good one-liners. Man, that's direct. That's specific, man. Okay.
Pretty specific.
Yep. Golly jeepers. I'm drawing a complete blank here.
I mean, it's a quote. It's
yeah, it's like A sentence.
The chat is struggling. I do not see it in chat, so obviously this one is tough. Okay, I'm starting to see it in chat. I'm gonna give it 10 seconds here. If you just get the general idea, we'll say it. But all right, put down an answer, I guess, or unless you
I'm
don't
right.
have one.
Yeah. I'm pretty close, but
Hmm.
it's wrong. It's not the correct answer, but it's what I got right now, and it would have.
Okay. Yeah, and it's okay. It's literally a direct quote, so there's no feeling bad about this.
Good. No, that's a great
there's no way I would get this if somebody asked me.
It's an important moment.
Yeah.
This is Ahsoka saying this, after all.
Yeah. So Vader says, "Perhaps I was wrong," when he's about to take down Ezra and he's in fear. And right after he says that, Ahsoka says, "It wouldn't be the first time."
Ooh, solid.
It's kind of like in reference to a lot of things, right? But potential Jedi Order stuff, but just a lot of different things. But yeah, it wouldn't be the first time.
No, I mean, I said, dark side is always wrong or something like that, but
that's good. That's good with not much context.
Yeah. But no, it wouldn't be the first time. She's got the best one-liners, and when she needs them, she pulls them out. She always did with her and Anakin. So that's right on the money for Ahsoka writing right there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm excited about the dialogue we're gonna get from Ahsoka, because Filoni knows how to give her words.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm so pumped. Frantic giggling. It looks like, unless somebody looked it up, it looks like there's a couple people that got it right. So nice work, Film 812 Studios. I'd give you half credit, Icy, for that. All right, we're moving on to season 3 now. In episode 1, which Ezra's using the dark side a little bit at this point, he's kind of going crazy because he unlocked that holocron. That's just some context, so it's not necessarily relevant-ish, but Ezra is tasked with a mission to secure ships for the rebellion from an Imperial, like a junkyard / shipyard, and these ships are getting destroyed here, and they're a bit older, but they would make good ships for the rebellion and General Dodana's unit itself. But what is the class of ship that they are? I would say it's a somewhat common fighter type ship per se. But what is the class of ship?
I think I know this. It's either one or the other, but I should know this one.
Yeah, I would say I would accept a couple ish answers, because I was honestly, the name was like, I've heard a different name for the exact same looking ship, but
really? Oh, now you got me nervous.
Oh gosh.
No, it's okay. No, I mean, I just watched this episode too. But I'm just visualizing it. I can see everything about it. I know what the guards look like running the
I'll tell you what, just because I kind of want to try to keep you in the game a little bit. Small hint. It's not an X-wing.
Yeah, no, I know it's not an X-wing.
Okay.
It's not an X-wing.
It has yellow paint.
Yeah, no, I think I know. Yeah, I think I got it. I got it. I think my answer is correct, but it's either this one or the other one, and I may have just. Let's see. I mean, I'm 50% confident here, but
yeah. It is a Y-wing, which I would also say a Y bomber, but
yeah, no, dang it, I always get the wrong letter. I said A-wing.
A-wing?
Yeah, I don't know.
You could have made that A indistinguishable and just I said
Y-wing. Just throw that up there. No, I know the little pig guys that were there guarding the conveyor as they were burning them, and that was a pretty heavy episode. That was a 2-parter, wasn't it? Was it a 2-parter? It might have been a 1-parter when they went to the actual place, because it was his first mission. It was his first mission.
Yeah, I want to say it was a 1-parter, but it felt like a 2-parter.
Yeah, I
could be wrong though. Actually, I have a list of Star Wars Rebels episodes right now. I can just scroll up.
No, I think it was the second episode of season 3, because Ezra was. Yeah, he was.
It's
second or third.
What did I say for this one?
Because
in episode 1 of.
Oh, it was episode 1, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it looks like it is a 2-parter. Steps into the Shadow is the episode 1 and 2, part 1 and 2. So you are right there, yeah.
All right, I'm half right. I don't know the names of these things,
Yeah, no,
but
I mean, hey, I made this quiz and I don't know. I said that, but all right,
yeah.
we're moving on here.
All right.
Question 9. On a salvage mission at an old Clone Wars battlefield, Captain Rex and the rest of Ghost Crew that's currently there gets captured by battle droids. What is the type of droid that is leading there? They're pretty smart. That's my hint.
I think that's man. See, this is where Dustin and Nick know so much more. These specific names, I know. I just watched this one. I know exactly what it is, but yeah.
Uh, Again, I tried to pull out facts. I needed to secure my win here. No, I made it possible, but not not.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's I know what he does because he commands.
What I feel.
Yeah, yeah,
What if I give a one-letter hint, like a one-letter?
yeah. No, that's fine.
Is-
That's fine. I think I got it. I
Uh,
changed my
one
answer.
letter would be
Not,
T.
yeah,
T.
I got that word, but I think there's more.
That's if
I
honestly,
think
I
there's
would
more to
accept
it.
that. I would
Okay.
accept it if you have the word. But it's a super tactical droid
Okay.
or a TX-20 tactical droid, supposedly in chat. If that is
I
correct.
I did say tactical droid. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's I would
I
give that to
fixed
you.
my answer. I couldn't remember. I knew there's another
Mhm.
part to it, but so it's super
Yeah.
tactical droid.
All right. This question was actually the first question I wrote. I wrote for this quiz because I had watched the episode. I'm like, this would be a very oddly specific, but kind of a good question.
Yep.
But they go to Geonosis, Ghost Crew. So on Geonosis, they find a Geonosian named Click Clack and also Saw Gerrera, and they're trying to prod information out of him about what happened to the Geonosians and what the Empire just did on Geonosia anyway to wipe them out. Why would they wipe them out anyway? Um, but it gets to the point where they're trying to ask him to explain what's going on. They can't really understand him. So Click Clack tries to draw something out in the sand, and he draws something out for them. But what is he trying to draw for them? And I will say, Ghost Crew misinterprets what he's actually drawing in this as something later on in the episode. A couple
Well,
things later on. They misinterpret what he's actually trying to draw, what the Empire was truly doing on G.
yeah. Right. Right. So he's trying to draw the actual thing, and they're misinterpreting it as something else.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a heavy episode
That
too.
was when I like that was one first watch. I'm like, that's the thing. No,
Yes, yeah. No,
no.
I know this one right off.
Okay. The answer is the Death Star. What they first thought was the Queen Egg that he was drawing, and then they
Yes.
thought, oh, it's the gas canisters that finished him off. But no, it was the Death Star. And if you think back to Attack of the Clones, that's when we kind of first see the Death Star plans truly being done. And that's so cool. When I first saw the prequels and whatnot, I was pretty young, so like understanding them, like I never fully understood them until I got older and older to understand all the like inner workings, but to kind of understand that like, wow, they had these kind of Death Star plans and works all the way from the Separatists and moving up to there. That's just really crazy. Chat did pretty good. Some
Yeah,
people said egg, but a good amount of Death Star.
Death Star. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
More Click Clack. It was the last. That egg was the last of his kind.
yeah, and
Like
Saw Gerrera wanted to crack
yeah.
that egg open and put it on a frying pan. No, that's not what he wanted
If
to do.
Grogu were there, what would have happened?
Yeah, but
It wouldn't have ended well. Come on, Grogu. It's the last one.
yeah, for like it took me like a second. I thought about Grogu, and then I realized what you meant by that. That
Grogu, the species ending, he's a madman.
that's a short, but that's a short.
Oh,
Okay, good one. All right. So next question. And at this point, I think this is towards the end. This is towards the end of season And
Okay.
what does the Bendu tell Thrawn right before Thrawn is about to attempt to kill him, because he doesn't actually kill him, but what does the Bendu tell him that gets Thrawn in an upset mood?
Yeah, it's like specifically.
You just got to get the general
Yeah.
gist. Doesn't have to be a quote. It just has to be what gets him in an upset mood to pull the trigger on the Bendu.
Yeah.
I will say Thrawn is like, I like him in Rebels, but he's definitely depicted like when you're reading the books, it's like, oh, he's the hero, kind of.
Yeah,
And
right,
then,
right.
then he's brutal.
He's pretty brutal. Yeah, he has a lot of moments where
I see some good guesses in it. Yeah, I didn't even write down the exact quote. I just kind of wrote like about what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm close. I know what he's saying there.
But basically what he says is he has already foreseen his defeat.
Yeah,
and that gets Thrawn upset. You got that one?
I said I see your end wrapped with arms all around you.
Yeah, I think that's like an actual quote. So that's like definitely
close. He mentioned being wrapped up in arms, or it was it was
definitely credit. I see that in the chat. Yeah, it seems like most people in the chat are getting it and the general idea. Some people saying he can't kill him. I'm not sure if he says that or not, but he definitally can't kill him because he'd be killed. Well, actually, no. I mean, he just transcends.
It looks like they kill him,
but like he goes into the Force though. He starts laughing after.
He's like floating in the clouds or something, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
he just disappears.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're moving to, I believe this should be season 4 now, as this is about where I'm at in my current rewatch, but what is the name of the weapon that Sabine made for the Empire? What did she name the weapon? And this is the weapon that like fries the armor and disintegrates the Mandalorians with it. Brutal.
Yeah, that's a tough arc. Great episodes.
It's been long enough that I had thought this weapon actually had killed their her brother and mom, but that was not the case. Like when the cliffhanger, I'm like, oh no, I forgot. But
yeah.
But the answer.
Yeah, I don't have an answer, so I missed this one too. But give it to me.
The answer is the Duchess. It's kind of relevant because Bo-Katan's like, what you named this after my sister? Like this.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of messed up, but yeah, the Duchess. Looks like a good amount of people get in the chat.
Question mark, man. That's the first non-answer that I had no.
It's definitely just a straight up like fact.
Right or wrong.
Yeah. So next question is, after the war at the very end of Rebels. So this is the last question.
Yep.
Where does Zeb take Kallus to? Compose your head. It is a planet.
Yes. Yeah. These are so good. These are great questions.
All right.
I got an answer.
Okay, that's good. He takes him to Lyra-san to show Kallus basically that you didn't kill off my entire species.
Yeah. I said the Lasat homeworld. I said paradise is paradise, the homeworld, but
I mean it's technically their new homeworld.
Yeah,
it's technically
that's like a 25% correct answer, I think.
We'll say half. We'll say half.
Okay,
we'll say 0.5.
I'll take it. All right.
All right. I gotta say, These last three questions I did kind of throw on to they're no longer about the seasons. They're more so they were to ensure no passage.
My demise.
Yeah, kind of. This question right here. This is definitely the probably the hardest question. And
all right,
but
you did that twice already, but now I'm nervous.
The hardest question so far. This is the hardest question on the out of all of it. But what is the first line in Rebels?
Oh, great question.
Episode 1, first actual piece of dialogue. This one, like, you have no chance. I'm sorry, there's no way.
That's good. That's
I don't know if it's good. It's just it's kind of
word
cruel.
or the first line.
Just, I mean, if you get how about this? If you get the first word, you can call it right.
It's like some random like...
first word or line. Chat's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the first episode. I know
somebody's close. The Brickster is a Rebels fanatic. I like that.
Okay, that's awesome.
They're close, but I don't see anyone like just getting it.
You're not getting it. No, they're on. I believe they're on Lothal. So I'm gonna say.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It's not anyone from Ghost Crew.
Yeah, it's got to be an Imperial, like somebody talking, I think.
Yeah, that would be right.
They're checking in.
They are on a holo projector. Somebody is on a holo projector.
Somebody's on a holo projector. It's
there's okay. You're not. There's no way.
I think it starts with Agent Callus.
It's okay. It starts with Darth Vader talking to the Grand Inquisitor. He says, "The Jedi Knights are all but destroyed, and yet your task is not complete, Inquisitor." And if you somehow got it right, if you turn on the subtitles, the first thing that shows up is mechanical breathing.
Like Darth Vader breathing. Nice.
I don't know.
First word. I say, it says mechanical. The first word of the Rebels is mechanical.
No, I was gonna go with but yeah, it's just. Even when I was like, all right, I'm gonna go because I actually was like, even though I just rewatched it, I was like, I'm gonna go there and see if there's anything noteworthy in the beginning. And I'm like, wow, I already forgot that Vader was literally the first part of it.
Yeah,
so I thought that was worthwhile to at least.
That's very cool because they leaned into that. I mean, Vader was imposing at the beginning. I mean, if he showed up, it was over.
yeah, for sure. All right, second to the last question: who is Spectre 7?
Spectre 7. Oh, I at least I can guess, right? I mean, I can get down to.
Like, oh, that's a big number.
Sorry, I can't count that high. What are you talking? All right, I got an answer, and it's wrong, but I got an answer.
Answer is Jason Syndulla.
Oh, good one, man. I said Ezra because I knew it's down the list.
Yeah, I think he's 6.
He's got to be
Ezra 6.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, when I was like, wait, I had to like double check this one because I didn't want to be incorrect, but it is mentioned at in the last episode as well.
Yeah.
This last question again. No longer, it doesn't matter where we're at in the series. This is just just kind of a fact. But what is the name of Commander Sato's nephew? He is also the captain of Iron Squadron.
You know, I just watched this episode 2 nights ago. And you think I'm gonna remember that kid's name?
That's why this is what the one right before the show I was like, I'm just gonna get another one down.
Yeah, and this is the one that I should know, but now that I've been beat into the ground, like I'm bleeding, I'm in pain. You know, this is hard to think clearly when you've just been destroyed. You know, your senses are all out of sorts. You know, all I hear is the Bismo breathing in my ear. You know, I was like, oh, this is scary. Mechanical breathing. Commando Sato's nephew. I don't remember.
It's Mart. It's just Mart.
Mart. Yeah. I know they had weird
A good
names.
amount of people got this one in the chat, I will say.
Awesome.
So nice job, chat. That's the end of the quiz. So add up your scores and let me know what you got out of 16. And let me just double check math quick. Over 70. Well, you had a half point, so
did not pass. I didn't even get a 50%. So I dare you to do better than that in the chat. I know you did better than that in the chat. And I love Rebels, but wow, that's a pretty abysmal
that's
show.
like that's a hard quiz. Like, there are questions on here, like you said, and like, unless I wrote down the, like, if I took this quiz, honestly, if I hit all the answers for myself, even though I wrote this quiz, I probably hit a few of these wrong.
Yeah,
like if I couldn't, but
I got a 40%, so I will live with my results.
I think that's 40%. About honestly what I got on your guys' quiz.
Okay. Yeah.
But
nice.
The fun part of those, we get to learn some random facts, talk about some Rebels. In the chat, I'm seeing 14 out of 16 from Madeline Garber. And I believe Madeline did super good on the Thrawn quiz, because for reference, we also did Thrawn's book 1, 2, and 3. Last week we did book 2 and 3. 3 weeks before that we did book 1. Just to review. This is all review before Ahsoka, you know. So go check that out if you haven't. But we got 14 out of 16, 7 out of 16 by Gavin, 10.5 by Icy, 13 for Ashley, 13 for Tony, 12 out of 16. 0 out of 16. I'm just happy to be here. I appreciate you. It was definitely a hard quiz. The goal was, like, I would be disappointed in myself, you know. That's on me. The goal was to make Dan lose, but it was not impossible. It was not. It was technically not impossible.
No. I should have gotten 4 more of those, like, because I had recently seen those, and I should have gotten Mart actually. But, you know, apparently I wasn't paying attention.
I tried to put like 2 to 3 truly impossible ones. Like, I didn't think anyone would get like the quote ones. Like,
those are tough. Those are
that's like
any direct quote, or like, what color was this thing in this scene, you know.
Honestly, there was, like, I was thinking, like, while I was eating before or this, I'm like, what if I just put, like, what is the color of Ezra's sock?
Right.
Something.
I mean,
like that.
You could, you know. I'm thinking more. Those are good. Those are great questions, because you touch every season, and you get to know a little bit about each character in that, you know, and the important plot points. You did a good job of hitting those, and some of the smaller episodes, like
some cameo ones. Lando, forget that he's even in there.
And Leia, you know, I should have got both of those, you know, for being such a Rebels fan and loving that those people showed up. But I think for me, what makes Rebels just so great is the original, you know, the Ghost crew. So I love their dynamic. I love their family dynamic. I love the way they interact with each other, and how gut-wrenching it was in season 4 when that moment happened with Kanan. You know, you feel that, and because you've lived with these characters and this family for so long.
I'm not ready to re-experience it. I'm kind of just like, oh, you know, I'm just happy-go-lucky watching the episodes, and I'm slowly approaching.
Yeah. Even when he gets blinded, you know, in Maul.
Yeah.
Maul, why did you?
Yeah, it's tough. And also just the perspective too of, like, even just like just the relationship between Hera and Kanan, and that's like, it's not like they really are like, I mean, they've always kind of liked each other and stuff, but like, they don't really get super intimate till towards the end, so it's just that much more gut-wrenching.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
No,
correct?
You're absolutely correct. We wanted, you know, more from them, but they were always, their paths were always, you know, divergent. He was with Ezra, or he was training Sabine, while she's over here with it was very similar to maybe like Han and Leia kind of a thing, you know. Han's busy doing things, and so right there at the end, you start to feel the love, and you're like, oh no. I know people mentioned that during Mando. They're like, well, if they put them together, then that means one of them's gotta die. Bowed in, you know. It's like,
all right. We're getting towards the hour mark, and I want to cash in while I remember on my
oh, you didn't forget.
Yeah, I see what you're trying to do here. No,
filibuster.
Yeah, this is a good filibuster. That's wow, good word choice. All right, all I need is three words from you. Wait, yes, 3 words. 3 words.
Is it, what did I have to say? Present tense or past tense? It is.
Is.
Okay. So, Andor is overrated.
Okay. I'm
You earned
satisfied.
that, man.
I'm satisfied.
Satisfied. Okay, good.
It's more sort of revenge. I don't know. The quiz wasn't fair, but
That hurts,
the
man. That
it was more so to make up for the 1v4, right?
That's right. Now we can
It was
play back to back the parts where you say Andor is the greatest. Yeah, now Andor is
yeah.
overrated.
Yeah.
It neutralizes. We are neutral. We neither of us have the high ground anymore. Actually, you
Yeah.
have the high ground right now, and you deserve it because that was an epic quiz, and I failed epically. But I can live in my epic failures because I'm a pilot. And
You got some tough ones right though too.
yeah.
But we're gonna head to our break here, and when we get back, we're gonna be discussing the last bit of predictions for Ahsoka, talking more Rebels 2 and how they kind of interconnect between the two, and also make sure to fill out the Q&A in the chat because we'll be going through that kind of together. If you have a specific question for myself or Dan, let us know. But not just in the chat, but in the Q&A section, the blue feature. But we're gonna head to break here, and we'll be back in just a minute. So stay tuned.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Yep. All right, I'll be here. Where's the hat? Nice. There we go, man. You like that hat? Is it working for you? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Nice. This a little different. Nice. I was gonna take your hat. We went on vacation last week, but I was genuinely afraid I would lose it. So I was gonna get a picture of it in the mountains, and like pretend I was on a Yavin or something, but I was gonna lose it. I knew I would because there's so much. Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to say that? You were supposed to hear all of it. Yeah, that's okay. So
And we are back. I mean, we never technically left, but that was intentional. It was 200 IQ on us because if you haven't noticed, I've switched my hat up a bit, looking clean. If you didn't know, Stand Target also has their own merch store, so go check them out, and you can maybe get a hat as cool as this. Not maybe, this hat is available, right? It's still available, or is it? Or is there not
Oh,
much
it's
stock left? Like, is there still time to get it?
there should be, maybe once Ahsoka drops, they're gonna disappear. But there's plenty.
Get,
You can
get
pick them
it
up
while
today.
you can. Get
That's
it while
right.
you can.
That's right.
Yeah, stay on target. If someone wants to link it in here, feel free to throw it. Somebody put some huge emoji art. I don't know what this is. I don't know if I should be afraid or not, but,
Pretty impressive.
What is it though?
Well, oh no, the art didn't finish. It looks like maybe failed or something.
Oh, it art failed. Yeah. Well, we are back, legitimately back, and better than ever. I'm feeling pretty good after
Yeah.
winning a very fair quiz. No.
For sure, man. I mean, what's more fair, like an insanely difficult quiz that you have a chance to finish, or 1v4? I mean, that's
I would say it was pretty similar-ish.
It's all good, man. That was so solid. But no,
all fun and games. All fun and games. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start off with just a hot question. I made a video on this because we're gonna get into that Ahsoka discussion now. I mean, we got so little time left. Also, I do want to just make this clear. No spoilers in the chat. I'm not playing around. I will ban anyone that puts any spoilers, like true spoilers. So don't play with me. But apparently spoilers have already been leaking because there was a showing today. So I'm going dark after this podcast till Wednesday. But
sounds good to me, man. I don't want to know nothing.
Yeah, but the question though is, will Sabine be force sensitive? I made a video on this a bit. I mean, I think you know where I'm kind of at with that. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think she will actually. I really do. My thoughts have changed a little bit on this as these trailers continue to roll and give us a few more nuggets leaning into the master and apprentice role. It dropped in the first trailer. I mean, she said master right there.
Yeah.
But she's not she trained with Kanan and she was using
lightsaber. Yeah, with the darksaber lightsaber combo. Wasn't necessarily Jedi training, but for sure
how to use the weapon.
Yeah,
and these are the things that you probably learn as a Jedi.
Yeah, definitely
you're handling that type of weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's leaning into that, and I think she will be.
Yeah, and to some extent though, that even plays in that kind of supports that a little bit because it's not he didn't attempt to teach her how to use the Force. It's not like someone's attempted to. And if we're getting that in the trailer, Ahsoka's saying Master, and there was another bit that they really highlighted Master, and then that one where it's there was a new 30-second where Ahsoka says, in this war it will take both a master and an apprentice, and the apprentice it literally cuts to Sabine. So Sabine will be Ahsoka's apprentice. That's just known from the trailers. It's more so what will she could technically be her apprentice and not have much force powers. I'm kind of in the line, and during the video I kind of talk about this. I think that she will be force sensitive because, well, technically, the force flows through all of us and all beings. We can all technically use it, but it's how many midichlorians do we got? How strong are we? And towards the end of the video, I kind of talk about how obviously there's a difference between true powerful force sensitives and an everyday Joe, like a Han Solo or whatever. But that's even a different case in its own because maybe the force is why he's so good at piloting. But everyone kind of has the force, but maybe Sabine has a low midichlorian count, so it's not like she's innately able to just lift things up. But I was kind of thinking that Ahsoka might be able to teach her to just heighten her abilities, to be able to focus more, to be in a lightsaber duel, be able to, when she's dueling Shin, be able to preemptively move a bit faster to be able to keep up with that. And then we see a different clip and we've seen this in Rebels, where she has the Mando type gauntlets. She could use some of those powers to supplement some of that to maybe complete the Mandalorian Jedi-esque picture, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Mandalorian Jedi thing is pretty cool. And that makes perfect sense because that's where they're leaning into with the Mandalorian, with Grogu. And it's not like this is unheard of. If they're building a Star Wars universe, kind of these things are working together toward a movie, her being able to have some force abilities and work alongside, Mandalorians and using lightsabers. Clearly in that episode of Rebels, she's like really blocked off and she doesn't want to open up. And she has a moment where she like lets it all out, right? It's
Yeah.
emotional watching it because it
Yeah,
builds to
that
that point.
scene.
It's like the best
Yeah.
acting I've seen. I mean, out of her as an animated character, and she can
Mhm.
bring that, and then I could see how now she's closed off again because Ezra's gone. She's been fighting. She's been trying to watch Lothal maybe, and then all of a sudden, with Ahsoka's help and the right, emotion, once she hears, we got to go get Ezra or whatever she finds out, maybe she has another emotional moment. She reaches out like they kind of show in the trailer, and maybe she does push somebody with the Force or,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I think she's dealing with some baggage.
Mhm.
She's got to emotionally open up. I think again.
Yeah, will she continue being stubborn Mandalorian, or will she open up? And maybe it's a matter of like having to. Like, we're in a dangerous situation. If you don't step up to the plate, Thrawn's going to take over. Something's bad going to happen. Could be the difference between finding Ezra or not. Ezra Bean for the win. Ezra Bean is the
That's right.
dream. It can be seen. Hopefully, no.
Hopefully, I don't want her to shy away from her Mandalorian roots and her skills
Yeah,
with the weaponry and the things that she has.
yeah, that's definitely like
Clearly
she can be
she's
both
not
at the
losing
same
that.
time.
I mean, well, what a combo,
Yeah,
if she can harness even, a small percentage of that and if it helps her defeat Shin in the picture you have, behind you, or
yeah.
Aelin or anybody.
Yeah, and I've seen some people in like my comment section. It's totally fine being a bit upset. Like, if she comes out and defeats these people that have been using the Force for all this time, I'm going to be upset. But you got to understand, like, she's a Mandalorian warrior. Like, she already is. Like, she is strong martial arts fighting styles as is. It would be a combination of like not necessarily her Force allowing to outforce somebody, but just the combination of being a strong fighter in general that could allow her to potentially win the combo.
Yeah, no, that's right. And so I think we will see something. I think that why else would Dave Filoni give us these nuggets and why would they push it? They're not trolling us,
Yeah.
in these trailers. They keep, it's one thing to just
Yeah. I
briefly
mean,
mention it.
we see her actually training with Ahsoka to some extent. Again, that's
Yeah.
lightsaber training, but who knows what else it could be there. And
And maybe, I mean, maybe there's a small chance that she just doesn't have it. She
yeah,
wants to have it, and that's the struggle. Like
yeah,
maybe she just doesn't.
because it really could be, because they did just throw in a trailer her using like the Mandalorian type, the trinkets, as many would call it. Kanan, both Kanan and Moff Gideon call it Mandalorian gear trinkets, but
Yeah.
that might be a thing where like they could have an emotional scene where you just don't have the Force and you got to use like you've got to supplement it with Mando gear. And like I would say either way works as long as it makes sense, because like I think both ways could kind of make sense.
Yeah.
But I would feel like, don't we want Ahsoka to have a Padawan to some extent? Even like whether Ahsoka's a Jedi or not, whoever you want to say it, she is a Force user, and she was the apprentice to a long line of like the line of masters there. Don't we want her to continue that legacy? It's all about that legacy, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's what this is really about. It's that legacy, and it's Ahsoka learning what her master dealt with in, with helping Ahsoka, helping her. So it only makes sense for Ahsoka to feel some of what Anakin was feeling. Maybe her and Sabine have a falling out at some point, early on or later on, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And there's
definitely. I
some,
could 100% see that
and
with
now
the stubbornness.
yeah, totally. And her eyes are open. Maybe she kind of feels some of Anakin's pain or anything along those lines. She's trying to train, how difficult it is. Every single one of these masters had I think Obi-Wan was probably the best pupil, to be honest. But,
Yeah,
all of
definitely.
these masters struggled with their apprentices. And Anakin was no typical, master when he was training Ahsoka. It was Yoda that put them together, right?
Hmm.
And he needed that because he was kind of already maybe slipping a little bit, not quite doing what he was supposed to do, and it was kind of helping him stay on the straight and narrow. So I think what you're getting at is more what it's about, maybe more so than Sabine, what being completely force sensitive. All of a sudden, she's this super Jedi. I think it's more filling the role for Ahsoka and being a master, and Sabine then being the apprentice because she's there, and they're
Yeah,
working
I mean,
together.
who else is there? Like,
That's right. They're together. She might as well, And now Ahsoka
yeah.
is a wise person now. She's had
Mhm.
a lot of experience. I'm curious to see what she can teach Sabine.
Yeah, and this is what's it's just so like that legacy and that cycle. It's so exciting because when we're first introduced to Ahsoka, I mean, she's like the little kid basically that
Yeah.
doesn't and just seeing her journey from now she's the one that people are going to be depending on, looking to for that advice, and there's going to be a struggle with that. We see it with Kanan and Rebels as he's teaching Ezra the ways that he's like, I'm doing my best, but I've had my own struggles, and my Jedi training's limited, and just that's just so great, and that's why I do really like Kanan as a character. You think there's any chance we see him at all?
I
Like
would
in
love I think there's a I've heard Freddie Prinze didn't want to come back or something like
Yeah, I've
that,
heard that
right?
too.
But Dave Filoni's got some skills, right? If you
Hmm.
need
He could
something,
have him back if he wants him
if
back.
he wants him to come back, Dave Filoni, Freddie Prinze, Kanan, he really likes Dave Filoni. He
Yeah,
respects that man so much, and he's a big Star Wars fan. So if the storyline calls for it, if you need that emotional weight, even if it's just a voiceover, which I think is probably most likely what we'll get a voiceover with Ezra. We'll hear something. I think that's what we're probably likely going to get, and maybe it's a world between worlds scenario where you see or hear, but I'm guessing a voiceover. He's listening to his master. Maybe he can commune with him like all the other.
yeah, yeah. That would that would be definitely heartfelt, and I mean that's another big question of its own. Like when will we see Ezra? I gotta say, I follow Emin Esfandi, the actor's Twitter, pretty well. He likes some of my tweets. Oh my gosh, no,
Oh,
but
right.
but
Right.
based on his tweets, he doesn't post anything close to spoilers, but he's obviously excited for Ahsoka. That's my sum up from his tweets. So like, I'd like to think that means we're gonna see him more than just a hologram. Like we'll see him in it.
Yeah, I
Um,
hope so. I hope so.
yeah,
I want to see some real in the flesh Ezra, man.
yeah.
And
Uh,
preferably not like in the last episode.
but going back a little bit to the like having Ahsoka be that one people look towards, and she's not going to have all the answers, but she'll be dependent on. That's where I really hope at some point. I mean, we're going to have Anakin in there at some point, but will it be a flashback? Will it be a Force Ghost? Will it be both? Because I'm really like, what would really be the like, I would cry is if they get a Force Ghost scene where Ahsoka's in kind of like a dark moment where like, what can I do to stop Thrawn or something like that, and then
Ooh,
just a
wow.
hand appears on her shoulder
Yeah.
and or something like that,
Ooh,
and we
yeah.
just like that because there's a lot to be said. I mean, first off, I'd want to see potentially some kind of forgiveness too. Like I want to see like a forgiveness scene of like Ahsoka being upset with him, like how can you do all this or something like that. It would be definitely very difficult, but very very back and forth heartwarming, and then for him to say something just very wise and helpful. I mean, we get that those new lines of him talking in that trailer. Believe that's from Tales of the Jedi. People are saying. I
Yes.
could still see that being a very similar. He could still say something almost like that. That could technically still be a Force Ghost line. Like I can't rule that out, even if it's like exactly the same,
Hmm.
because it still would make sense in context of what's going on. Like you're not going to be
Yeah.
fighting just droids in this war. Like it's no longer droids, basically. Like
Yeah.
not,
Or stormtroopers in or not
mm,
stormtroopers,
yeah,
in clones and Order
yeah,
66 or whatever.
yeah.
This is like, yeah. No, I mean that was an emotional trailer when we heard Anakin's voice. And
Oh
you watch Tales of the Jedi?
yeah, that was I needed that, but like that was a pretty tough time for me. So I'm getting a little echo here. Echo, 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 water bottle.
It's reflecting off of your monitor. I don't know. But no, I mean that particular episode was so powerful. That whole Tales of the Jedi was kind of like a tease for the Ahsoka show because it's giving us
Yeah,
these
yeah.
these
Filoni
nuggets,
is so
man.
smart.
Oh,
Filoni thinks so far ahead. I still can't wrap around what
yes.
like especially new people to Star Wars that like let's say you haven't seen Rebels or you've just seen it. Like Rebels was a while ago now, and he left it off at a point where he's like, I will be coming back to this exactly. Like he's thinking so far ahead. Like we're just continuing right where he left off, like seamlessly.
I
Like he
Yeah.
thought so far ahead to have a story, and like, oh,
Yeah.
just be in Filoni's mind for a second. I just need to learn the dark side, and
Yeah, you can read his thoughts.
you must tell me.
Yeah. No, you're right. You know, that's why we appreciate and respect Filoni so much. Going back to Rebels, going back to Clone Wars, any interview you see of him, he lives, he eats, he sleeps, and he breathes Star Wars. All of Star Wars. And when he creates characters, it's with respect to George Lucas, it's
Yep.
respect to the original trilogy and all the characters that came before. That's why seeing these original characters that I got wrong in the quiz in Rebels, you're like, yeah, he can use them. That's the right time. Who can he pull from now that we might really love to see? And Anakin's a great one because we know he's a Force ghost, and it's only been a few years since, we saw that young Anakin in the, the new versions.
Updated.
Like in my version on the VHS,
Yeah, there wasn't that.
It was
I believe.
Eggman.
Yeah, I believe in like the first version I saw that wasn't the case, but we had got an updated version.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's like 2 or 3 updated, and now the one on Disney
Yeah.
Plus is even different probably. But
yeah, have you watched the on Disney Plus recently, like the original trilogy, like Empire, just like within the past year?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because they got it looking like, wow, like it looks amazing. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if there's one thing they've done right, it's like at least I can go back and watch Peak in what feels like 4K, but
it's like
not,
4K HDR. We got all this contrast we never had before. I'm like, how did
I was kind of freaking out with my friend when we first this is not. I don't remember it looking this good.
Yeah, I don't remember these kind of details on my TV screen. It was like a smeary, like washed snow. Now it's like crisp. Did they reshoot this?
Yeah. We'll be taking a look at the Q&A here soon. If anyone's got any Q&A questions in the chat, as far as like just Ahsoka or just in general for me and Dan, we'll still be hanging out here for a bit. But make sure to fill that out if you have any. But yeah. Do you got anything specific you want to predict about Ahsoka or ask me about or anything?
Yeah. No. I mean, I the hype level is super high for me. With Ahsoka, probably the highest out of the Stay on Target crew, if I'm honest. Me and the fact.
Yeah, I saw it was out of 12 the other day, right?
Yeah, we went up to 12. I think I was at a 10, but
I am no lower than 11. I am no lower than 11.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, when people say 10, I say 10 though.
Yeah,
like,
10 out of 10. Yeah. No, I mean when that first scene drops, I'm gonna be like shaking. No, I mean I'm gonna be freaking out, ready to watch this. So
yeah, this is no joke.
Yeah, this is anything could happen. Filoni, they've given us, people are laughing about the trailers not giving us too much new. It's kind of the same couple of scenes. They add a little nugget here, a little nugget here. I'm like, every nugget you get means something from Filoni. So you got to appreciate that. And the little that they are giving us, there's so much behind the curtain that Filoni's waiting to to reveal for us. I'm so excited about the surprises that we're gonna get. Like you think we're gonna get live action Hondo, bro? This is as good a chance.
This is what. Yes, please. Knowing Filoni, I would think if there's gonna be a cameo where there should be a cameo, it's gonna be in Filoni's work. So I would say I'll put my bets on yes. We'll see Hondo at some point. I will say I did just end the Q&A. Somebody said Thra Ahsoka confirmed. That's what we got in the Q&A. I don't know how to feel about that.
Wow, Thra Ahsoka.
I don't think I'll be making a video series on that.
No, I mean,
imagine the twist. No.
Wow. Yeah, I mean. No. we joked about what did we joke about? Did somebody say like Ahsoka and no, it was Ahsoka and Ezra.
Somebody has said Rex before.
Oh, Rex, yeah. Okay, there you go.
And I can't say I see it.
No. I mean
the only one I will say, and chat can throw the fist up, but Luke Ahsoka.
Ooh. I like that, man.
Controversial for some, but Luke Ahsoka, I mean, if there's no Mara Jade, I don't know. Like, what's the problem? What's the problem?
There is no problem. That's a legit thing. Do you think we'll see Luke?
I do think we are gonna see Luke at some point in this too.
Okay.
Like I know that's crazy to say, but like I think this is partly his story too. Like let me ask you this though, like if Ahsoka's in contact with, like I'm not gonna say he's gonna be in this a lot. It
Yeah.
could be just a cameo, or like someone she also goes to advice, and maybe he doesn't have a ton of advice for her. But she was just talking with him in Mando or Book of
Yeah.
Boba Fett. How is she not gonna alert him that like the Empire is still around, like to
Yeah.
some extent, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna get too like nitpicky because maybe there's like time constraints. Maybe they got to find him quick because it does feel like a kind of a race against the clock. Like the trailer gives me that like race between good and evil. Like we got to get to Thrawn before he does this,
Yes.
or we got to find Ezra before it's too late. Like that's the kind of feel I get for like the plot. I don't
Yeah.
know if you get that.
I kind of feel that, like, there's definitely some, even the music, but it's
Yeah.
definitely racing your a race against something. Thrawn is out there creating a mess. I mean, and clearly Ahsoka, she wants Thrawn. Like, give me Thrawn or give me death. I mean, she's not happy when she was talking to Elsbeth there, in Mando. So, it's
Yeah.
and then the Inquisitor. Who's the Inquisitor? I mean, but we're gonna get Zeb, right? Like you talked about it. I'll
Yeah.
get Zeb. Like I kind of really want to see Zeb and the crew together,
Yeah.
as much as possible.
Zeb is needed. I mean, even though I made a video saying he won't be in it, like I have faith in Filoni. I think he's gonna be in it. I'm gonna retract a little bit. I actually don't think we're gonna. I think there's like. I think it would make sense if he's there, but I just don't see it because of that time constraint. I feel like it's gonna be like we need to like move.
Stay with
And
the Rebels.
if we don't see Zeb, it would be the same kind of reason though. Like they have to kind of act quick or something. But
For sure,
I,
this is a multi-season show, correct?
honestly, I don't really know. Just because, like, well, obviously the strike's going on, so that kind of throws a
Yeah.
lot of things in the air. That could help things potentially, actually, with as far as what's going on. I think it could depend on viewership too. All I hope is if they do have a season 2 planned, like, I mean, I have got faith in Filoni, but they better have a concrete story already planned out now and not just do it off of just straight numbers. Like I understand that is important, but like I don't like the reactionary like, okay, this is getting a season 2. Like Kenobi, for example, limited series, everyone's gonna watch Kenobi when that's announced, right? Like it did pretty good initial numbers. Because of that, they're pretty much not 100% confirmed, but like we'll probably make a second season of this, even though they had literally no plans. Like
Okay.
I would say I think there is something on the table. I think Rosario Dawson teased a little bit, but I think it does depend a little bit on what's going on. But
Yeah.
I
Okay.
I'm not going to complain if it's great. If it's great and everyone's watching, obviously we want more. But I just
Sure.
don't know when the movie's coming out. Like the movie,
That's
it
it.
might be like Ahsoka Mando 4 movie. Otherwise,
there's-
it's Ahsoka Mando 4 Skeleton Crew. Is that even coming out?
Yeah, you know better than I do, but yeah, I mean, you're right. It's tricky to know because of the strike and because of the uncertainty of Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Disney right now. That direction that they're headed it's with Filoni now. If this show rockets and it's like unbelievable, like
Yeah, we
globally,
need a
like,
dub.
yeah, then that's gonna I think take them in the right direction. That and then they have to pause because of writer strike and they're not able to film much or other than Andor season 2, right? Because I hope that's already filmed. But other than that,
Yeah, I actually bad news. I did see something like a couple months ago on this. Like it is definitely being affected a little bit. I don't know
yeah,
if they had everything filmed or not, but I know that like some kind of production was slowing on Andor season 2, which I do have high hopes for that. For me, the hope is like there are aspects of Andor I like, there are aspects of Andor I dislike. I hope there's just more of the things they got right, because for me, I know a lot of people like there's some perfect show per se. If some people might say that, but for me, like there's I don't want to get too stuck in here, but I
yeah,
just want I think they did some things right, and I want to see more of what they did good, but I don't want to talk about Andor. Okay,
No, we don't.
I was about to. I'm about
No,
to. I got to stop
that's it.
myself.
We're on Ahsoka. We're on Ahsoka.
Yeah.
We're into the future of Star Wars, and nobody can predict that, right?
Yeah,
And
for
Andor
sure.
is already overrated. So I said it twice now.
Oh wow, you didn't have
Yeah.
to do that.
But
Hey, but I.
Andor season 2 now. I'm not going to talk about that yet. That might be a different story. No shit.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm genuinely excited, but yeah, I'm kind of. You guys had this on the stream yesterday, but I'm kind of in a similar boat where, like, how do you get the fans excited for Star Wars if this show somehow is like a dud?
Yeah.
Like, I really hope it's not. Like, this is for me. I'm more excited for this than really like anything ever Star Wars, other than when probably before I was seeing the movie, the first one, like episode 7,
Wow.
after like not having, because I hadn't seen a movie in theater because I missed out on Revenge of the Sith like barely. But
Okay.
yeah, this is probably the most exciting. I mean, okay, Clone Wars renewal.
Yeah.
It's hard to know where the emotions were at, but for me, there's a little like I love Star Wars, always will, but at least with some of the recent shows, there's been a little bit like there's always excitement when a new show's announced, but there's been a good amount of worry attached between this. This is an instance where like I'm just very excited and I'm kind of going in it blindly. But
yeah. Like you're going in head first, man. You're like you don't know how deep the pool is, but you're going in head first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I've got a little bit of like I'm not going like pedal to the metal, like I'm like maybe 80%, but I'm super excited because of the Filoni fact, because of my favorite show characters. Seeing them live action is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It'll never capture the vibe of the animated series. It's gonna be a new vibe because it's a new time, right? But like I said yesterday, I'm like, maybe I would have personally preferred like another animated like Rebels season 5, as opposed to a live action Ahsoka. But so I have to, yeah, go ahead.
Hot take question potentially, but do you prefer animated Star Wars, or do you think animated Star Wars is better or has the potential to just be better than live action?
It has the potential to be better because they can do things in fights and with Jedi and space creatures. Like if there's some kind of like holding back on Zeb because he's too expensive to animate or something, I'm like, then by far, yeah, I want more Zeb, so give me animated. But nothing has. I mean, and that's what I feel like Filoni. I'm like, how can he put so much weight into an animated face? But for me, because I'm a musician, it's the music. It's the music. It's that tone that drives underneath. Yeah, and it rises.
Yeah, the music like carries Star Wars, to be honest. Like,
yeah, it's always, and that's what hit me at a young age as well. Like I didn't even know John Williams. I didn't know what this was about, but that music at the right time, like when you watch Jaws for the first time, you're like, it's that underscore, like that's just like, what is going on? There's nothing even on the screen, and I'm freaking out. And it's like that in Star Wars. You hear a theme, and it just takes you somewhere. And so Kevin Kiner always did Rebels. I'm hoping he does Ahsoka or someone similar that has that.
Yeah, the music sound like I like the sound of the music in the trailer.
Same.
It sounds a little bit darker, but we'll see. I'm sure there'll be moments of just Star Wars is usually good. If one thing usually Star Wars gets is its music.
Yeah.
Unless, okay, don't do it.
But sometimes I can tell how quality a show is going to be based on the simplicity or complexity of the music. Like I've tuned into these things and I'm like, all right, I feel like the music track that's in the background of this scene is just kind of like stock. Like you sub it with anything, or you find like that there's just not a lot of music. Like because again, if you take out music and it's just dead air and there's just like ambience, like the final 2 episodes of Bad Batch, for example, it's just like quiet. You're just feeling like the wind blow and hearing like
you're nervous. Like who's gonna like die.
That sound design and that ambience can also add weight to a show and make it feel epic. But I don't remember what your question was originally, but
just like is animated Star Wars better than I would
for me it is, because in some ways it is because you're only hearing voices and you can project anything on screen.
Yeah,
it's not a real human. It's just
yeah, I would say like animated is definitely more consistent and you can like you can almost always get it right animated. Like I don't think they get things necessarily wrong, but like peak live action, like who doesn't want to experience something like Empire Strikes Back or Revenge of the Sith, like that, like live action, that's really great. But I mean, I think of Clone Wars as a masterpiece. I mean, Rebels is great, especially rewatching Rebels. Like, how are you getting me this invested into animation? And a big reason why I just like anime in general, like Japanese animation. How do I get so much into it? And for me, it doesn't matter as much, I guess, if it's live action or not. It's just the story and how invested I get with the characters. But yeah, I kind of want to get a few like prediction type questions
Okay.
just on the air before we wrap up. But
All right.
we'll kind of give both our thoughts. But the first one though is will Balin Skull be alive by the end of the season, or will he be killed off due to the unfortunate passing of Ray Stevenson? Rest in peace. But what are they going to do with his character? Is he going to be killed off by the end of the season on screen, or will he die at some point?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think he's going to I think he's going to die if I'm following the Rebels format. If he is the main antagonist of this season,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he might.
That's my train of like that's
because if you watch season 1, it's
Mhm.
it's the Inquisitor. If you watch
Mhm.
season 2, it's whoever, and then Thrawn. So I
Yeah,
think Thrawn's not going to.
yeah.
So if somebody has to die, that gives weight and pressure and maybe a victory to the rebels that are fighting out there. It's got to be Balin's School. So I
Yeah, I would
think he
I
is
would have to
going to die.
agree. I would say regardless of honestly if Ray um passed or not, I would probably have to say the same thing. Like we get that the Grand Inquisitor dies like that, but we get
Yeah.
a pretty big focus on Balin. I think he's gonna have a huge part to this season,
Yes.
and I think we're gonna get a lot of dialogue and a lot of lines with him early to help develop his character so that it makes sense or feels okay to, I guess, kill him off. I'm curious who will actually end up doing it. Like if it will be
Yeah.
Shin, a lust
Right.
of power, or will Ahsoka defeat him in a
Mhm.
fight? A lot of
Or
options.
that extra Inquisitor. What's
Yeah.
him? We got theories, but nobody really knows. So
Yeah, what's your theory on that Inquisitor?
my feeling, it's not Barris. It's unlikely to be Ezra, but there are some legitimate reasons why it could be Ezra. Uh, but that description that they put out of it being a former, um, I don't know. Dustin's got me leaning like I'm not stealing his thunder, but the Star Killer thing, this Galen
Yeah.
Merrick thing is interesting. I think it's going to be a brand new character. Actually, I'm probably like, if I put it up there, like I've got it split like 3 ways. I'm like,
Hmm.
30, 30, and then 40. So 40%
Yeah.
I get the new
Yeah,
character,
fair.
30% Ezra, 30% maybe Star Killer.
What's if you have to throw a dart, what's your dart throw?
It's a new character.
New character. For me, I I would say similarly, maybe new character, maybe not, but I'm gonna lean towards they're an unimportant character and they get killed off early by Ahsoka.
Yeah,
That's how the feeling I get.
it's cannon fodder, right?
Yeah,
Somebody has to sacrifice early to give us a little victory, maybe.
yeah, but who knows? I mean, okay, if it's Ezra, I Dustin will be praised heavily.
Yes, yeah, no, you're right.
um,
Very well could be. There's a lot of reasons it could be.
next question though. When will we see Ezra in live action? I think we've talked about this before, but you got to kind of re-ask these questions with we've had time, and now it's kind of getting to the wire.
Yeah, I think it's a two-parter at the beginning, and there's 8 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think he's coming in. I think we're gonna see him. That hologram. I think wow, that's gonna be early. I think we're gonna see him midway through the season, in person, midway.
That yeah, that's a
Maybe
good guess.
maybe
I
4. Maybe 4,
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Dustin says, "Well, when you guess all, you can't be wrong." As far as like talking about true, I think Ezra will be in episodes 1 He'll either show up in episode 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 8. He could show up in.
Oh, you think so? You think so? There's a good chance of that.
No, I think I had mentioned this before, but I actually wouldn't mind if we just got completely new footage right away. That outside the trailer, we open up with a 5-minute like Ezra's running in this new place. Things are like kind of sketchy or whatever in this new unknown or new galaxy or wherever he's at. I would like that, but I think also based on who's directing the episodes, Dave is directing episode 5. That would be the start of the second half of the season. I'm gonna go with episode 5. Will open up with Ezra. So like that's halfway. The second half, first episode.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you there. Yeah, I think we got to see a lot of Ahsoka. We're going to see a lot of Sabine early, a lot of Hera clearly, maybe
a lot of Baylan and Shin early.
Baylan and Shin. I think Thrawn and Ezra are going to start showing up more at the same time, right? Like I think a couple of clips of Thrawn and Ezra because they're intertwined, their stories at this point, and maybe at this point they're so far away from each other that
maybe at this point. But like, if that's the case, if we just jumped and there's Thrawn right away, then I'm gonna need some explanation as to what happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they were together. Like I want to see some gritty them having to survive. Like they're gonna have to camp out on their own, surviving for 6 months off of insects out in this region or something like that. I mean, to grit it out.
Whether or not he's an Inquisitor, is there any chance Ezra's like using the dark side, or he's mind wiped, or somehow now being held captive by Thrawn?
That is true, because I it does make like it gives me like a 5% like jump towards the Ezra theory, in that if we're getting trailers where Thrawn is seemingly on his ship and seems to be okay, that gives a slight, doesn't bode well for Ezra. Ezra could have escaped on his own thing, but if we know for sure Thrawn is okay, that does increase the chance that he succeeded in whatever he, in this Ezra versus Thrawn situation. But I feel like Ezra is doing his own thing, but I think regardless, especially rewatching Rebels, more so, Ezra's got a lot of dark in him. He's trained at a later age. It's kind of just the nature of things. Like, maybe he's not that Inquisitor, but I think we're going to see some dark side Ezra at some point in live action.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean,
at least a good chance.
There's a good chance. When you watch that season 3, beginning couple episodes, he is dark. He's
powerful.
Fools. Yeah, he's powerful. Stormtroopers. He's killing it. Yeah, he's very powerful. He walks that ATST right off that cliff like it's no big deal, and he learns his lesson. But yeah, he's very powerful, and he may have to tap into that in order to overcome. Unless now he's just mastered space whale travel, purgle travel. That's like just free bus.
Living the dream.
He's just hopping all over the place.
Ezra left that that recording for everyone, so actually he could basically just go retire. Like, I'm done with this.
Right. He's hanging out with Zeb or Callus on what was it, Lyrasan? Right?
Yeah, Lyrasan. They're all just hanging out as bros. Yeah, Lyrasan's right. Yeah. It'd be great.
Yeah. No.
I guess. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like. I think we've gone through most of the main things of like main predictions as far as if Baylan's gonna die. We think so.
Jason Syndulla.
Yeah, Jason Syndulla.
You think we'll see Jason?
I think we will. I think we will see Jason. Well, I think we'll for sure see Jason. Will he be force sensitive?
Yeah, right.
Another force sensitive.
Another one.
Now give me a reason why someone tell me that he can't be force sensitive. No.
Yeah, right. No, you can't do that. He's what's her species?
Twi'lek.
Yeah, he's like, no, Twi'leks are not allowed. But no,
I feel like Hera,
like he's like 7 or 8 or something, or I don't know how old he is.
Yeah, but probably like 5 or 6. I don't know. But yeah, Hera's such a good pilot though. That's like another instance where like, is she using the Force subconsciously, and that's why she's such a great pilot?
Mm-hmm. No, it leaves a lot to be. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Maybe Hondo's force sensitive. That's why he's so good at these sneaky dealings. No.
Dustin said Hakuna Matata style in reference to that survival. Also asking if we see Kanan. We touched on this a little bit, but I don't know if we definitively predicted if we'll see Kanan or not. I think that's fair because we just kind of talked about he could or couldn't. Doesn't sound like Freddie wants to, but Dave could put him in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with an in-between answer. We'll hear like just his voice. It could be a reused clip, or we'll just hear his voice or something like a two-liner, or like Hera's just thinking to herself and or something. Like just we'll hear his voice. We won't see him. I don't think we'll see him, but maybe we'll hear him.
Yeah.
My answer.
No, that's where I'm falling. Yeah. Unlikely to see him until, there's a lot of development they got to do with Ahsoka first. And so they're going to lean into Ezra, I think, later on. But they've got to give us Ahsoka nuggets, for maybe fans that don't know anything about Ahsoka. They don't know anything. They're just joining Star Wars. They watch.
Yeah, they're claiming you can just watch it. So I feel like you gotta give some background.
Yeah, so they're going to introduce a lot of that, and they're going to introduce Sabine, and then they're going to give us Ezra because that ties to Sabine, and then the fact that he's a Jedi also ties to Ahsoka. So
yeah. Fairy Electra says, but Revan Bastila Kid is not force sensitive, and they both have amazing force users. So Jason's Syndulla's force probability is 50-50 or lower. Well, you do make a good point. I will say, I literally do have a good part of that in that Revan video I had made. But the point of like the force sensitivity video I made was more so everyone has the force. It's just to the level that you can use it. Even if you like can't use the force, I like the theory behind it is like you still technically kind of have the force, but you just can't harness it very well. But that's the thing with Sabine. Like I'm thinking maybe she won't be able to like force push people. Maybe she can, but I'm thinking more so she might have heightened senses. But I think with proper training, anyone could get a certain amount of wielding. But I guess if you don't have the midichlorians, you meet your peak like early, or you can only do some.
Yeah,
it's definitely something up for debate though. Like I guess force sensitivity in general, but I go to like anyone can use the force because both George Lucas and Dave Filoni have said that. So that's my
it's a good default, position. You go back to the source, right?
Yeah.
No, I think how do genetics play in with midichlorians? How do they like tall and short, right? Like, well, is he going to be tall or is he going to be short? I don't know. The midichlorians might just,
Yeah. I mean, Luke and Leia essentially have I don't know if the midichlorian cloud is the exact same, but pert near the exact same as Anakin Skywalker's. So.
Yeah, and I mean, but you know how much it takes Grogu when he uses the Force. Like he's like taking a nap afterwards.
Yeah.
And he's the only thing we got to like a young Force user, a new Force user, maybe. So it's like it maybe it's because he's a small character or small creature. Maybe that's part of it. The energy versus a full size humanoid or human, but like Sabine, I mean, I imagine using the Force. I mean, Ezra was always like, afterwards, a little bit. Sometimes, it takes a lot out of you. So if you don't have any midichlorians, it probably is that much more exhausting.
For sure. Just want to say, great point for discussion though, Fairy Lecture. I really appreciate that. That's a good point. And if you have questions, topics, or collaborations for the show, make sure to email the Bismo Show at gmail.com. Dustin says, will Jason have green hair?
Because the Lego character did not.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust Lego, but I feel like, I mean, how could you like watch? They're like, all right, they're sitting down for the screening of Ahsoka, and like nobody catches something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope so, but it's not gonna be the like, oh, he doesn't have green hair, I'm turning this off.
I don't know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah. What's up, these stuff and thing? Welcome. I will say though, we are approaching the 2-hour mark. This is technically an hour-long show, but it's been a fun one. A lot to talk about, and it makes sense. We've been talking a lot of things, being that Ahsoka is literally right around the corner now. If you haven't rewatched Rebels, I've said this about every stream. Got about 5-6 days to do that. So, or if you haven't watched Rebels in general, that's what, like 75 episodes, 75. 5 divided by 6. That's like 10 episodes a day. 12 episodes a day. You should be good. No.
And they're about 24-minute episodes, 22 minutes, give or take, with so
Yeah, it's
do it.
doable, but might be
How much
losing a little
time are you
sleep.
just stop looking at your phone, or if you're looking at your phone, it better be a Rebels episode playing like from now
Yeah.
on. So
Heck yeah. Well, honestly, I don't have much more. Unless Chad's got any last minute questions or predictions. I mean, you got anything, Dan?
no, I mean that's it. I'm very excited. I think you touched all the big points tonight, and kudos to you for thinking up an amazing Rebels quiz that was just on fire and literally crashed my plane.
I got my revenge. We're
So
even now. No.
it was so worth it. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, watch Rebels, get excited. I mean, fingers crossed, I suppose. But I know I'm so excited. I'm a little disappointed. Last thing is that because of the writer's strike, we can't quite get the promotion that we deserve for this show because a lot of the actors, if I'm not mistaken, can't really talk about stuff.
Yeah, they can't really talk about. I will
They
say,
can on
like
Twitter.
these trailers have been really good though.
They have.
Like they're doing good from that perspective.
Yes.
And I know this Ahsoka main trailer has more views than the Mandalorian season 3 official trailer, at least on YouTube, by like 1 million or so. So that's notable, I would say, because Mandalorian's pretty mainstream.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely high hopes. All I can say is I'm excited, and you should be too.
Are you staying up late to watch it?
I still haven't fully decided. I haven't fully committed, but I do want to.
Sure.
But it's more so because I'll be making videos every Wednesday. So yeah, make sure to hit that sub button and hit the notification bell for Wednesday videos for Ahsoka coverage, giving my thoughts, and obviously every Thursday we'll be doing a stream. Dan here will be piloting the Stay on Target stream both Tuesday and Wednesday for Ahsoka. So make sure to go hit the tag for Stay on Target in the title and hit that subscribe button for their show. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be, man, we're just going to lights out be covering Ahsoka. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for it since Mando ended, and I've been calling it the world between worlds. We've been in between shows here, and we're ready to rock. We are so ready for Ahsoka, and see what Dave Filoni's been cooking up for us these last few years. Help me, Dave Filoni. You're our only hope.
Hashtag faith in Filoni. Well, I do see another new person in chat, Kirsten Allen. You kind of said a good time or a bad time because it's a perfect time to watch and listen to the rest of the VOD and catch up because we are going to be getting on out of here. Thanks again, everyone that showed up live. You're listening to the VOD. I appreciate you. Thanks again, Dan, for coming on. Make sure to go check out Stay on Target, like I said. And yeah, this is where the fun begins. Like, let's be excited about Star Wars. Like oh my gosh. It's, you only get a few moments like this,
That's right. This is the world we live in. We can just pop up on our phones or our TVs, whatever, watch some amazing, high quality Star Wars content. Man, just enjoy it. Get your favorite snack, and then after you watch, come share your thoughts with Bismo and his show, and let him know what you think, because we're gonna be diving in. We're gonna be working through this with you. Bismo,
yeah.
I want to know all of your thoughts, Bismo, as this thing unfolds.
Same here, because I mean, y'all are like big on the Rebels, and this really is Rebel Season 5. I mean, it's Ahsoka, but these are all a lot of our favorite characters, a lot of you guys' favorite characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. That's gonna officially wrap it up. I'll see you guys next week for Ahsoka.
See you soon.